The invisible cage look at you. You've done everything right. You chased the success they promised you. The career, the title, the perfect partner, the curated life on the screen. You built the cage, and you gilded the bars. And yet, here you are, scrolling through the endless night, feeling that familiar cold knot in your stomach. That whisper that says, "Is this it?" You're terrified, aren't you? Not of failure, but of this strange, hollow victory. You're afraid that if you stop moving, if you stop striving, the whole fragile structure of your identity will collapse. You feel seen, exposed, because you know the secret. You are the most powerful person in your own life, and you are completely miserable. You have everything, and you have nothing. You are a modern emperor, ruling a vast digital empire, yet you are a slave to your own mind. The emperor's paradox, 2,000 years ago, there was a man who knew this feeling better than anyone. His name was Marcus Aurelius. He was the emperor of Rome, the most powerful man on earth. He commanded legions, controlled the known world, and lived in a palace of unimaginable luxury. If anyone should have been content, it was him. But Marcus didn't write his famous book, Meditations, from a throne of comfort. He wrote it in a tent on campaign, while the Roman Empire was being torn apart by plague, war, and betrayal. He was surrounded by external chaos, yet his deepest struggle was internal. He was battling his own anxiety, his own anger, his own procrastination. He was the emperor of the world, but he was desperately trying to become the emperor of his own mind. This is the emperor's paradox. The ultimate external power is meaningless without internal peace. The lie of external control. Marcus Aurelius was a Stoic, and the first, most uncomfortable truth of Stoicism is this: you are not in control. We spend our lives trying to manipulate the world, our boss's opinion, the stock market, our partner's mood, the weather. We are like children throwing tantrums at the universe. We believe that if we just try harder, we can force the world to conform to our desires, and then we will be happy. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control. They drew a razor-sharp line between what is up to us and what is not. What is up to us? Our opinions, our impulses, our desires, our aversions, in short, our judgments and our actions. What is not up to us? Everything else. Our health, our reputation, the actions of others, the outcome of our efforts. The moment you confuse the two, you sign a contract for suffering. The Nietzschean challenge, loving your fate. This is where the Stoic path intersects with a much darker, more challenging philosophy. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche presented us with the concept of Amor Fati, the love of fate. Nietzsche asked a terrifying question. What if a demon appeared to you and told you that you would have to live this life, every joy and every pain, every success and every regret, over and over again for all eternity? Would you fall down and curse the demon? Or would you say, "You are a god, and I have never heard anything more divine"? Stoicism teaches you to accept what you cannot change. Nietzsche challenges you to love it, to not just endure the plague, the war, the betrayal, but to look at the whole messy, beautiful catastrophe of your life and say, yes, this too was necessary. This is the ultimate act of internal power, transforming necessity into desire. The power of judgment, the real enemy. If external events don't cause our suffering, what does? Marcus Aurelius gave us the answer. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. The true enemy is not the traffic jam, the rude email, or the unexpected bill. The enemy is your judgment about it. The event is neutral. Your mind, however, immediately slaps a label on it. This is bad. This is unfair. This shouldn't be happening. This is the psychological insight that changes everything. Your anxiety is not a reaction to the world. It is a reaction to your story about the world. You are not suffering because you lost the promotion. You are suffering because you judge that loss as a catastrophic blow to your self-worth. The Plato connection. Escaping the cave of opinion. This idea of escaping our judgments echoes back to Plato's allegory of the cave. We are the prisoners, chained in the cave, watching the shadows on the wall. We mistake the shadows, the opinions, the gossip, the fleeting external events for reality. The Stoic practice is the painful, difficult act of turning your head away from the shadows and walking toward the light. The light is reason, logos. It is the understanding that the only thing real, the only thing you can truly possess, is your inner character. The moment you realize that your reputation is just a shadow on the wall, that your bank account is just a shadow, that even your physical body is temporary, that is the moment you begin to find true freedom. The uncomfortable twist, the virtue trap. But here is the unexpected twist, the uncomfortable truth that even many modern Stoics miss. The pursuit of virtue, of justice, temperance, courage, and wisdom can become another trap. We can become so obsessed with being the perfect Stoic, so focused on controlling our judgments, that we turn virtue into a new form of vanity. We judge others for their lack of control. We become cold, detached, and self-righteous. Marcus Aurelius warned against this. He said, "Do not be wise in words, be wise in deeds." The goal is not to talk about virtue. The goal is to act virtuously without needing applause or recognition. The moment you use Stoicism to feel superior to others, you have failed the core lesson. The Bonhoeffer insight. Action in the face of evil. This brings us to the ultimate test of inner peace. Action in the face of chaos. The theologian and resistance fighter Dietrich Bonhoeffer wrote about the difference between stupidity and evil. He argued that stupidity is a more dangerous enemy of the good than malice, because you can argue with evil, but you cannot reason with a person who has become willfully blind to facts. Marcus Aurelius faced this daily. He was surrounded by lying and unjust men. His solution was not to retreat into a private, peaceful bubble. His solution was to cultivate justice and truth, and to live without anger in the midst of them. Inner peace is not the absence of conflict. It is the unshakable moral clarity that allows you to act rightly, even when the world is wrong. It is the courage to stand firm, not because you expect to win, but because it is the only way to be truly free. The modern plague, distraction and procrastination. Marcus Aurelius struggled with procrastination. He constantly reminded himself to get up and do the work of a human being. His struggle is our struggle, amplified 1,000 times by the modern plague of distraction. We are addicted to the fleeting instant, the dopamine hit of the notification. We trade the profound, difficult work of self-mastery for the shallow, easy comfort of the scroll. We are living in a state of perpetual, low-grade emergency, constantly reacting to the urgent instead of focusing on the important. The Stoic remedy is simple, but brutal. Give yourself a gift, the present moment. Stop dwelling on the past you can't change and the future you can't control. The only place you can act, the only place you can be virtuous, is right here, right now. The final lesson, your soul's color. So, what is the ultimate payoff for this difficult, introspective work? It is the quality of your mind. Marcus Aurelius said, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts." Think about that. Your soul is not colored by your bank account, your follower count, or your job title. It is colored by the thoughts you choose to entertain. If you choose resentment, fear, and judgment, your soul becomes a dark, turbulent storm. If you choose gratitude, reason, and justice, your soul becomes a clear, calm sky. You are not just observing your thoughts. You are painting your soul with them. The lingering idea Marcus Aurelius died 2,000 years ago, but his struggle is yours. He proved that the greatest battle is not against barbarians at the gate, but against the chaos within. The uncomfortable truth is that you don't need more success, more money, or more control over the world to find peace. You need less judgment, less fear, and more courage to face the only thing you can truly rule, the 3 square feet of territory between your ears. The world will always be chaotic. The plague will always return in a new form. Betrayal is inevitable. But your peace is not a gift the world can give you, and it is not a gift the world can take away. It is a choice. It is a discipline. It is the quiet, daily act of choosing reason over reaction, love over hate, and action over apathy. Go now and choose the color of your soul. This is the only empire that truly matters. And the work begins not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, but in this very instant. The world is waiting for the emperor of your mind to finally take the throne.